Oh, hang on. Let me get the music. I feel like this is.
She almost said it again.
I
She
am.
almost. I think Leslie needs to take over this music duty.
You
I
do?
think I do. I think I do have the song saved now.
Oh, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. All right.
It's definitely not the same without it.
No, it's like everybody's cue.
I'm like waiting. I'm like, hold up.
Oh, I still have my spoon in my tea.
This is gonna be my cup of the week.
This is not going to be my cup of tea.
I think we all could use a little bit of her right now.
Face for sure. Mine is Superstition Mountain. Goldfield Ghost Town, Arizona. It's a little relevant. It's a little relevant. We'll wait a couple minutes for people to jump on. Let me see. Who we got?
And actually, waiting for I wanted to do a little boomy cheers to our IG family to come on over. So Candy, do you want to, and everybody else who's on live, if they are, who is down and ready for a boomy cheer to start off today's episode with fun, some lightness, some cheers.
Boomy cheers.
I'm going to call the cheers that we're cheersing to, that each one of us that are cheersing woke up to another new day. We woke up to an opportunity to express. We woke up to an opportunity to live, to move outside, be in nature, to share connection, and to connect even deeper to the truth that is inside. So that's my cheers. Cheers.
Did we
yes.
get it?
And hello.
Hello.
Yes, I got it. It's a little, but it will work.
Welcome to the Tuesday Tea Talks mid-morning show. I am Candy.
And I'm Leslie. And as always, more than ever, I can speak for myself, and I think I can speak for Candy. More than ever, so grateful to be here virtual. Always been here. Now we get to continue to be here virtual and really, truly just have conscious conversations that matter, that empower you to continue to live your best life. And now more than ever, how does that sound right now? A conscious conversation to empower you to continue to live your best life in whatever way the moment of this hour is asking you to live. So Candy, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. Honestly, like, I got my highlight, you know what I mean? It's shining a little extra bright.
I like it. I think I need highlight during these times. Where's all my highlight?
Where's your highlight?
I don't have any. I have like the white for this. That's all I've learned how to do. And you've shown me that, but I just haven't gotten there yet. That's, I think, my next step.
Noted. I remember when we were in Bali and I was like,
something's missing. I'm literally getting ready for a photo shoot and I put like a little of this under my eyes, do my eyelashes, and I'm like, okay.
And then you're like, it was so funny. You're like, I did this. And I'm like, what's this? And you're like, the thing that you put under your eyes.
The thing that everyone, because I just started doing it and I was so excited.
I'm like, Leslie, we're doing a photo shoot. It's a big deal. You're like, what?
I know. I honestly wish. So this is one thing. I was raised by basically what would be considered like your grandparents' age. My parents were much older. And so like my mom was like, wash your face with a bar of soap. Basically everything that an esthetician would tell you not to do. My parents were like, okay, we came from the Great Depression. Like use a bar of soap, you'll be okay, And so I'm learning in my 30s how to do some makeup.
Love it. Yeah. I'm so excited for today's conversation. We've got a little bit of a little.
I am too.
Oh yeah, I was like we lost you there for a second.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah. Leslie and I were talking about like do we just like keep it rolling? Do we keep the fire with the money talk that we had last week? And I'm absolutely all for it. Like, I want you guys to have the rundown of how Leslie and I have both created abundance in our lives. And we know that it wouldn't necessarily be right for us to not talk about what, you know, our community is experiencing and address those things. And I think I might have added this to the caption, but I think I put like overcome fear of scarcity, which is ultimately one of the foundational pieces. If I didn't put that in there, I'll definitely add it. To creating abundance, to generating this, you know, this that you want, you know, these results in your money mindset and in your abundance and generating money in your bank account. And for us, like, we feel, I don't know about you, Leslie, but I feel pretty confident right now. There was a little like, okay, let's watch it. But ultimately, because of all the work that we've done, I'm like, no, it's gonna be okay. And so I think it's important to talk about, though, because what I saw was that a lot of people are essentially hoarding money or worried about the income and stuff like that. And it's actually quite a valid fear, you know, to have during this time. And so I would love to speak to that. Leslie, you're really good at speaking to about fears and all of that. So I'd love to just kind of address that, and then we can talk about some ways. And perhaps you can share a little meditation, Leslie. That'll be good for today, I think.
Yeah. Let's do that. And before we dive in, I checked in with Candy. I want to check in with all of the tribe, all of you watching, jumping on, and even replay. Let us know if you are watching replay. We do come back and check the comments. And let us know how you're doing. And one way you can do that very quickly and simply is just drop a word to what you're really, whether it's a feeling, an emotion, a way of being, a state of consciousness. What are you most present to right now? What are you most present to? And it can be how you feel, or maybe it's just what you're newly aware of. And what's really wild is, believe it or not, even if it seems like it's been weeks and weeks, it was only 1 week ago that we were here having a conversation about money. And during that conversation, we talked mostly about all of the underlying energies, all the underlying beliefs, all the underlying body memories, everything underneath money. And haha, funny, not funny world, we are like, it is so far past a conversation now. Like, this is what really needs to be understood. And we globally, even in the Western countries of America who rarely experience this daily, are experiencing lack consciousness constantly. Not enough this, not enough that, not enough toilet paper, not enough supplies. I need to feed my dog, and now the store's out of. Everything is up for question. Everything is unknown. And everything is uncertain for all parties, business owners, teachers. Can we please, like, oh my goodness, to the nurses and doctors who do not get to work virtual. And in fact, they are closer than you would ever be, even if you were normally in person. They're basically on top of the patients that are the sickest. So everybody, including myself, with 30 plus people flying to Bali, we've actually been on this since December. And so I'm very present to the escalation, and literally, like we just said, in the last week alone, the escalation. And then especially for me, watching the trend of it, like literally being in Asia and it literally traveling all around the world, to now it's really in the public eye of America, and it's real. And people's lives, including yours watching, including mine, and no one is exempt, lives are being impacted. And there's different layers to the impact. Some people are experiencing physical loss, and some people are just experiencing the most uncertainty and unknown they've ever felt in their life. And so this is a wake-up call. We have heard from teachers for years, get out of your comfort zone, experience the unknown. How do you respond in the uncertainty is really how you respond. And so this is for all of us to look at, for all of us to be with. And I would really encourage all of us, and we're going to go into this money conversation, because ultimately, just like we talked about last week, it's not about money. That's one expression. Oh, I heard a little feedback. I don't know where that came from.
Sorry, I clicked on our video. I'm trying to see who's
Oh, no worries. Oh, no worries.
Let us know if you're on. Drop a comment below. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. We forgot to say that, but we can't see who's on unless you guys tell us. So drop a comment below. And sorry,
thank
Liz.
you for doing that, because I want to know. I want to know what everyone's saying as we dive into this conversation. So definitely open her up. I wanted to make sure there wasn't feedback, because sometimes that's what goes on. Yeah. And really opening up this conversation to scarcity, to lack, to that side of the coin of money, because there's the lack, there's the scarcity, and those very low vibrational, very paralyzing sensations, holding on, withdrawing, all the disconnection. I mean, literally everything we don't want. And then there's the flip side of abundance, of openness, of prosperity, of wealth, of embodiment that feels really flippin' amazing. And we're going to talk about the collective energy, how that plays a role, the individual energy and how that plays a role. But what I do want to bring up that I really believe most are aware of or present to, especially in conscious communities, is we're starting to really see the teachings, the talkings, the energy, all these concepts, right? We're actually seeing them in real time. And we're reacting or responding in real time. And so it's no longer like, when I'm in fear, this is what I would do now because I'm conscious. No, like, I know my body memories lit up. And no one is exempt here. Thank God I have mindset. Thank God I have my practice. Thank God I have faith. Thank God I have a refined mind. So then I can choose how I move through life. But I am not exempt from feeling heaviness, from feeling physically ill, actually, and experiencing my own, what's for me, and this shows up differently for everybody. Some people, they literally can't stop worrying. They're worrying themselves sick. Some people, they're just really stressed out. Some people are really tired, kind of like really tired. Some people are isolating, and not, I don't mean quarantine, but like literally withdrawing from people, even virtually. They're just kind of isolating themselves. So this is your response. This is your programmed response when it comes to scarcity, when it comes to money. And so if you're kind of like, I'm over it, I'm checking out, I don't want to deal with it, does that show up with you in money? Or I'm just so stressed out, I'm frantic, I'm going to go hustle, I'm going to go try to figure it out. Does that show up with you with money? Or is it, okay, I trust, like, just check in right now. And actually, let's do that for a moment, and not to gauge it, not to judge it and say one response is better than another. But these moments of global impact are the times that we really get to look. Like, this is the biggest opening to really look, where we don't talk about it anymore, is like, we really get to feel what lack feels like in our body. We really get to understand what fear of death or potential sickness does in our body. These are all now a bigger trigger to our primal nature: food, shelter, money, sickness, health, community, security, stability is all up for question. And so taking a moment here and just taking the money out of it for a second and just really look in your own life over the last week. What has been your experience? Where has your mind gone? Even if you drew it back, where did your mind go? What was present for you? Like, what was the biggest thing on your mind? What were the body sensations? And where were the body sensations the loudest? In the gut, in the heart, in the lower triangle, in your shoulders, in your neck, upper back? And how have you been either acting or responding, reacting? Basically, how have you been taking action or inaction? How has that actually shown up this week? And as you draw your answers in, once again, we're not judging. We're not making mine better, yours worse, yours better, mine worse. In fact, we don't even need to share. However, I am inviting us all into a conversation that whatever your answers, the objective data that you drew, I invite us to look at this as a same reaction and a same pattern to how we believe and approach and feel about money. I just invite us into that, just to invite us into the conversation of exploration, to see. And I know for myself, when I check in, yep, same. And so I would love, Candy, are any comments coming in? I'd love to hear from a couple if there are, or just anything that's being dropped in.
Let us know, you guys. How is this resonating with you? What are you experiencing? We'd love to just honestly address it. We've got a few people jumping on. I see Josette, hello. I see Scotty King, hello. Jackson, Kazreen jumping on. Laurel, hello, hello. Drop a comment below, you guys. Let us know. Again,
my people, hello.
Hello, where in the world you're tuning in from, and also how this is resonating. It really got me to thinking of this, Leslie, like when you were sharing, I was like, wow, that's super powerful to look at it like that, you know, to look at, wow, how is your response in this moment of uncertainty, of this moment of unpredictability? How are you responding in that? Is the same way you're essentially responding when things are predictable. You know, it's what's underlying, what's underneath it all. And it really got me to thinking of this passage, and I would love to read it for everyone. That really helps me through any sort of unpredictability. And Leslie and I talk about this all the time, because it's interesting when we respond this way, that yes, everything is up for question. That is true, you know, essentially. But Leslie always, you know, you always say like it's the biggest cosmic joke to think we're ever in control in the first place. And I love this because it's really powerful. So I would love to read this if that's okay with you, Leslie. It's a passage by Pema Chodron, American Tibetan Buddhist woman, who writes amazing work on enlightenment and enlightenment training, all of this. And what she says is, and I want to share this with you because it's really powerful. She says, wherever we are, we can train as a warrior. The practices of loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity are our tools. With the help of these practices, we can uncover the soft spot of bodhicitta, which is enlightenment training, essentially. We will find we will find that tenderness in sorrow and in gratitude. We will find it behind the hardness of rage and in the shakiness of fear. It is available in loneliness as well as in kindness. Many of us prefer practices that will not cause discomfort. Yet at the same time, we want to be healed, but bodhicitta training doesn't work that way. A warrior accepts that we can never know what will happen to us next. We can try to try to control the uncontrollable by looking for security and predictability, always hoping to be comfortable and safe. But the truth is that we can never avoid uncertainty. This not knowing is part of the adventure, and it's also what makes us afraid. I really just wanted to share that because I just honestly, like, it was when I used to have a ton of fear. And I mean, I still experience fear in a different way. I was telling Leslie, I feel good about coaching and hosting retreats now, like it's nothing. But then I went to go dance hip hop with my friend, and all the self talk comes up. Wait, what in the heck? Where does that come from? It's because it's essentially, I'm putting myself in a space where it's not known for me, you know, and it is unpredictable, and it's not essentially something I know I'm going to be good at. And so I'm up for, you know, I tell myself I'm up for judgment, I'm up for criticism, I'm up for all of it, and I'm being super vulnerable right now. So I love, you know, I love this conversation because that's exactly what's happening for our society right now. And it's, we're all being given, literally globally, we're all being given a massive opportunity to heal this part of us that, like, what actually happens? I was talking to Leslie, what actually happens to Candy when things don't go Candy's way? What happens in Candy's nervous system when she literally can't control the outcome? What occurs for me? Like, what, and I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, this actually is I'm like, there's actual physical sensations, but then there's actually like, wow, this is all occurring for me. And not that that was never there, but like Leslie said, it was, you know, it's beyond the layers, it's beyond, you know, the positive affirmations that we tell ourselves, all the top layer things. And so if you really want to make a shift, this is where you start, right, Leslie?
Absolutely. And something that I say and still say and believe in more and more and more every single minute is true enlightenment or true liberation is equally directed to how calm your nervous system is, no matter what. Even right now, my nervous system's not calm. I got some work to do. But, and with that, I also see how I have been responding, how I have been reacting. And I also have seen the massive difference in the way I move through this situation than a few years ago, definitely years and years ago, but even in the last couple of years. And so it's not to say, if you have a calm nervous system, you've made it, you've reached it, you're good, because my nervous system is not calm right now. And really very few, unless you truly are a enlightened guru and you've reached that point, will your nervous system be calm right now. And so that is exactly where this conversation is moving, is to nothing has changed other than there is a situation externally. Like, you've always had these sensations, y'all. I kind of like hate to break that to you, but what is, and this goes, I mean, insert anything here, insert boyfriend, partner, child, job. Anytime the body, the nervous system kicks on the way that it is right now, there is something externally, just something, someone, something, some conversation, some memory that is resonating. I'm not using the word triggering, that word just needs to go. Resonating with a piece of you that is still unhealed and is still there to be looked at, to be sat with, to be loved on, and to be transcended. So it's a primal resonance that we're all experiencing. That's why no one is really exempt here, because it's around our foundation. It's around money, potentially. I mean, people are like, I'm out of a job for 2 weeks, maybe for life, I don't know. So primal resonance is happening. And so if you want to be ahead of the game, which I know if you're on Tea Talks, you want to be ahead of the game, this is the prime opportunity, prime opportunity to check in, literally assess yourself. If you haven't already, write it down, keep documenting the changes. There is so much to be found here about yourself. And I want to share a personal experience that will naturally transition into the giveaways, the takeaways, the valuable information we will be giving today around money that can be implemented. And I find it so funny, Candy, because this really wasn't planned, but was divinely planned. But like, I wish I could be this epic of a planner. I'm a pretty epic planner, but I'm not like this of an epic of a divine planner. So I give it to God, and he's always got it. It's just kind of hilarious now that I'm sharing about this because of how divinely it's all laid out. So last week, we know we had the money talk, right? It's March Madness, mindset, money. We're going to go into magic eventually. And someone that I've been working with, she does wealth embodiment. She's my wealth embodiment coach. So I'm not going to a money mindset coach. No more talk, no more mind. And as I shared with you last week, a big part of me moving to California was to really blast through my current money ceiling. And it's been happening, y'all, by the way. And I feel all of it. And it's so interesting that this collective energy of scarcity, of fear, of lack is in my experience already, and naturally now is only heightened. And what I find so interesting is, and it wasn't, like I said, Leslie didn't plan it this way, but we had our Tea Talks on Tuesday, and then Thursday was a very deep healing wealth embodiment session, guided healing session for myself. There was very to little no talking, and this was a lot of Kriya and tapping and literally somatic body memory work. And my coach guided me through the 8 vibrations of wealth and how our body moves within those frequencies. And so I'm just sharing all of this to say that I'm currently in this. It's like divinely, it's all happening. And on Thursday night, literally, I'm in scarcity grip, guided into scarcity grip, and what that looks like in my body as I'm moving and I'm pounding and I'm screaming and I'm releasing. And then now here we are with a collective global scarcity. And now I have this connection to really see the exact same sensation. It's the exact same response within my body. It's not different. And so I was able to move through these vibrations and see how I currently, not Leslie's mind, because Leslie's mind is abundant. Leslie's mind is all for possibility. Leslie's mind is always moving forward. But what does my body, my experience, what I've experienced that's held within my body really believe? Because that's ultimately the truth still. And so I share all of that to just say, no matter what you're experiencing, and of course the mind's going to become pretty overactive at this time, it's more important than ever to really drop into the body, as uncomfortable as it is. I know that's like really the last place most of us want to be right now, because it doesn't feel good. And we can easily say, oh, I just feel the collective energy. Yes, you do feel the collective energy, but ultimately there's a resonance that is for you, no one else, not even Leslie, for you and me, as for myself, to transcend. So Candy, I just wanted to share that because I honestly hadn't even shared that with you yet. I haven't shared that really with anybody. That I didn't post about it. My healing sessions are very much mine, but I'm always so happy to, after a few days have passed, and happy to share about my experience and what it can look like. Because it's, I know for me, sitting in circle, there's a time for that. I host circles, like there's a time for that. But for me and for certain, I'm going to say all individuals, but certain individuals, the release, the just actually getting it out of the body is so much more transformative at these layers. And so I would love to hear some of you guys' experiences right now with what is occurring in the body. Is it too much? Because I know I've had moments where I'm like, whoa, you know, like, whoa. And so how has it been for each one of you? And then Candy, let's go ahead and transition into what we want to really give them to take away today around money. This has been such a deep and needed and appropriate conversation that's different than any other conversation right now, but yet so relevant. And so Candy, where do you want to like roll from here? You cut out, babe. You're talking, but I can't hear you.
I just realized I muted myself because there's like
Oh,
construction.
I waited. I waited a second because I'm like, I just want to make sure like it's not just a delay, but it went too long. So
Thank you for saying that. I was like, yeah, Leslie, like, I'm just going into it. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, nobody can hear me. We got a comment
no.
I want to speak to, but to really send this home, you know, one thing that I'm uncovering here is that the focus and you spoke to mindset versus embodiment. And I love that. Like when you're embodying something, it's your new truth. Like it's the truth for you. When it's a mindset, you're like still in this affirmation space, like trying to make it be true, essentially implanting belief, right? And so for me, what I really want to send home with everyone is look what's true for you, look what's being embodied for you right now, right? And then what do you want your embodiment to be at? Like what do you want? What experience do you want to have right now? Do you want to feel like everything's okay? Do you want to feel, you know, really secure? Like really that's what I'm looking at, is like, wow, I desire security, right? I'm desiring predictability. I'm desiring this. And honestly, like what I was sharing when I was muted was that was that really, like when I look at the things that I don't have, like I know I'm not going to lose, or when I tell myself I don't have anything to lose, you know what I mean? Like when I say, oh, like I really don't have anything to lose and I have everything to gain here, right? Like when I go there is when that's the embodiment. Like, wow, I literally am okay regardless of what happens on the outside. I'm still going to have the love, and the love of my family, and my friends, which is what it's really what we're being shown here is what actually matters to you the most. And like I said, like look for all the areas where you have nothing to lose ultimately and everything to gain. I think that's where the real, like, wow, if I lost this and I lost this and I lost that, what would that mean? And sort of like coming from this space of like, wow, what do I actually need? Like what's important to me? I think that's a huge lesson in this current situation. Like, what is actually important to me? What is actually important to me versus all the fluff, all the fluff that's on myself, and I think that's really powerful. When I've only ever been successful in money, when I truly believe and embody that I have nothing to lose and everything to gain, like, because I know that's the knowing, Leslie, we talked about that the other day. There's this really inner knowing that there's a divine hand in it all, honestly. And so I would really invite everyone to look there, look at what am I being shown? What am I learning about myself? What am I learning about my true embodiment and where I want that to be? Jackson here says, it's kind of a long one. So Leslie, I'm going to need you to turn your ears on. Your ears on?
I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm hearing. There's just a delay. There was just a delay, so you were just still talking.
Okay. Thank you for that quote, Candy. He says, some of my feelings towards this and money, often we feel that because we have no money, we must be lacking in some aspect. We aren't resonating with the energy of money, and there's some block. While this is very true, what I feel is more true is where you currently stand in your power. There is a divine order to all things that we can't possibly know or, as you said, control. Sometimes at the current moment, we are best serving in the place we are. And if we had mass amounts of money, we would be in a different place, unable to serve those around us right now. If I were a millionaire, I wouldn't be here now. But it's understanding and trusting in the process that when it will be of best service to you and those around you, the gates of heaven will open and flood you with the blessings beyond imagine. I love that. What I really took away is like really being in the process that you're in. What'd you get, Leslie? Being in the process that you're in.
Well, and these are where our money beliefs get to really be different, right? Because I personally don't believe that if I'm a millionaire, I wouldn't be here right now, because I actually would be. So that's my belief system. However, I really hear, it cut out a little bit for parts, but I think I got the gist, but I didn't hear who it was.
Jackson Brown.
Jackson. So Jackson, I really want to honor that is your belief system. And what I really also heard and took away is it really does matter what we do currently right now with or without money. And I would also love for you to go back to our previous conversation. We can drop the link later. We had a conversation around money and the energy of money and all of the conversation around belief systems and even taking the word money out of it and just talking about the relationship. So I would love for you to go back, and I'd love to also hear your takes and your insights on that conversation. And that was a really great preface to the conversation that we're having now. But what I really heard is, instead of waiting to fix or reach this embodiment, that is definitely not the message that we want to leave you with at all. So I want to clear up that Jackson is absolutely right in the sense of, what are you doing now? And that's really how this conversation really kicked off. Are you withdrawing? I don't want to even look. I don't even want to deal with it. Because that is how, whether it's with money, it's going to be, I'm saying money because that scarcity and lack at its core can be associated, and that's what we're seeing and experiencing. But that does show up in relationships for you, for me. That shows up in money for you, or for me. And so really, this is the opportunity when a lot of us are home. We're not used to being home. A lot of us, things are being canceled and postponed. This is the opportunity to turn inward. And we kind of, even if you're not sitting in your body's on fire, you feel it. And so this is the opportunity to really own, if you want to call this like the ultimate personal growth check-in that has been promised for thousands of years. Then I am to call it whatever you want. But this is an opportunity for us to see where we stand now and continue doing the work to reach where we ultimately want to be. But yes, this is part of the response. I think I even shared that. I see what's lit up in my body, but I also see how I keep showing up. I'm not turning everything off. I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. And that's new for me, because I ultimately see the bigger picture, and this is how I now choose to react or respond. And so it's not good or bad, one's better than the other, but really accepting and owning the sensations that are arising, and have this be the one time, like, please have this be the one time that you don't run from it, that you don't just go get busy, that you don't blame the other parts of the world, that you don't blame the people going outside, or you don't blame the ones staying inside, because once again, that's missing the point. So the next time, this would be my invitation. I'm inviting all of my students and clients and even friends into this. I would really invite us into the next time you catch yourself saying basically a projection of blame, of judgment on who's going outside, inside, store, not store, blah, 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 etc. My wealth embodiment coach says anytime we judge someone for their expression or inexpression of wealth, we cut ours in half immediately. And so you don't have to believe that. It really resonated with me. And so I just invite us to be mindful, to be responsible, and to be intentional, conscious humans that a lot of us have claimed to be for a few years now. And that starts by not blaming or judging, because now that's just diminishing yourself even more, but to really turn inward and say, how am I responsible here?
Mm-hmm.
What am I being shown? Mm-hmm. What can I work on? I know so many of my clients have been praying for time to slow down, have been asking to work from home, have been wanting more free time to be creative or to finally clean the house or plan things. Now, of course, we never wanted it in the package called coronavirus with this big, huge global bow on it. But think back to every other thing you've manifested in your life that's big. Did it really come in the package that Candy wanted, that Leslie wanted? Nope. And so I'm inviting us all to really scan out for a second and really see what's happening is really just the lessons and the words that we speak, but it's happening in real time. And so what we can do as a tribe, what we can do as humans, is take radical responsibility. And it's only hurting ourselves to try to figure it out, to try to blame, to try to say, well, I'm doing this, so this is the right way. That's separation. That's isolation. That's lack. That's scarcity. And so I invite us all into expansion, into growth, into abundance, into wealth, into prosperity. But that will not happen with us pointing fingers and blaming and ultimately resorting already back to scarcity and fear.
Love it. Love it. We'll transition, I think, into asked and answered at the end. Leslie, do you want to take us through a little something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool.
It will be very brief because there's bigger opportunities this week to really drop in, but I'd love to do a quick breath for grounding, to really integrate and soak in everything that has been shared. I know this is a heavy time. I know this is really, even normally, kind of a more heavy or sensitive conversation anytime we talk about money. And right now, I mean, it's pretty bold, I think, that Candy and I are like, everyone's in scarcity, let's talk money. And this is an important conversation that I am happy to have over and over, because only because of what I'm personally experiencing and present to. And if I know if I'm experiencing it, there's a couple other women out there experiencing it too.
Totally. Amazing. So drop your questions in the comment box below, and then Leslie will be taking us through a little guided meditation. We'll get to your questions at the end. We do try to answer all of them, and this is a great opportunity to have your questions answered live. Leslie and I do go back and watch the replay and answer all the questions that were given on the replay as well. So definitely, even if you're tuning in on the replay, drop your questions below and we will definitely respond. Other than that, and like I say, your questions, I always say this on every episode, your questions are valuable because you're thinking it, but someone else might be thinking it, but they won't say it, but you'll say it and you'll liberate somebody else. So definitely drop those questions in the comment box below. And Leslie, I'll have you take over and lead us through an amazing just breath of grounding.
Yeah.
A little moment
Yeah.
of grounding.
So I always say it's going to be quick, but I'm actually going to share two practices with you. And one is going to be pretty energizing. It's going to be pretty abrupt. It's going to cause chaos in your nervous system. And it's also going to purify and detoxify, which we all need right now, not only for our immunity, but for our emotional health, our mental health. So it's going to really cause, on purpose, a lot of chaos in the nervous system. And then we're going to go into a grounding technique almost directly after. And this is part of, yes, bringing you down and grounding in the current moment, but also literally training your nervous system. Once again, your body, not your mind. Your mind is already programmed enough. But to really program your body of how does it work inside of me to go from chaos to grounding, and how can that transition be smooth? How can that transition look and feel like in my body? Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I do know there's a brief delay and that might affect the flow, but we're going to roll with it. We're going to do the best that we can. And I will be guiding the entire practice, so there's nothing you have to do. And as Candy had mentioned, if you have any questions or even comments that just have flowed through you during this conversation, or anything that's been on your mind, drop those now and then go ahead and drop into the practice. And when we come back out, if there's any questions, we'll address them. Okay, so for now, who's ready? Who's ready? I'm ready. I'm so ready. Okay. So before we go into the practice, it's actually going to be much easier while we're all awake and with it if I show you the second part of the practice I will be sharing. I've actually never shared this live, so this is how much I love my Tea Talk family. We are going to go into, after we create chaos, we're going to go into grounding. And I want to show a mudra for each one of you to start using during your practices, but then to also use while you're, I don't know if anyone's out and about, but wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can hold this at any point throughout the day. And what is a mudra? A mudra, we typically think our hands, but mudras aren't just our hands. They are certain psychotic, really, gestures. They cause a response within our mental body, within our psyche, within our emotional body, and in our energetic body. And there is a physical component as well. So really, we're touching on all layers of our being. And by holding certain mudras, a mudra can also be certain eye positions, tongue positions, believe it or not. I know no one talks about tongue and breath work, but that actually can have certain causations. And so when we hold certain hand positions, not only are we activating certain energetic responses, but there's always a physical component. We're also activating certain organs and responses within our body. And so that's really the purpose of a mudra. It's not just to it's not a focal point. I think some people have called a mudra a focal point. That's actually not the purpose of a mudra. Is the yogis were actually in caves, the tantrikas were doing these crazy kriyas, doing these embodiment practices, and their hands were naturally going into certain mudras. And then they noticed when they held these certain mudras that there was an even greater response. There was even a greater reaction. And so, of course, they refined and refined and refined. And now we have what we know as, or some don't even know that term, but mudra. And so I'm going to be sharing what has been immensely grounding for me for over 2 years. And I use it frequently. I use it frequently all the time. And if you bring your hands like this, bringing your ring fingers on both hands to touch your thumbs. So the other hand, so if I'm holding it like this is kind of what it looks like. Your fingers can be touching, but more just more loose. And what's important is that you're not, it doesn't mean if you press harder, it's a greater response. Nope. We're working with energy here. Okay. But touching the pads of the fingers and holding this mudra just in your lap. I know you can't really see my lap, but imagine my lap is right under my hands. Okay. And so when I say to activate the grounding mudra, you'll just bring your hands into this position. Okay. And so I know for me, like already holding this, I actually am feeling vibration immensely. For me, my body, it like immediately is a shift for me. And so we talk about affirmations and how that can create like a pattern interrupt, right? And that can create like, oh, nope. And then our mind knows and our everything knows to, nope, come back to center. These mudras are in our body. Awesome. And so now, like for me, even just holding this mudra, I immediately feel my entire body just so powerful, subtle, but powerful. Okay. So with all of that being said, closing our eyes, releasing the hands can just be in the lap, closing the eyes, closing the mouth, and allowing the breath to flow in through the nose and out through the nose. And as you allow this breath to flow, begin noticing the sensations that are present. Noticing the breath as it flows in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe it feels heavier to breathe. Maybe it feels choppy when normally it feels smooth. Or maybe it feels calming and clearing. Just notice what is different. Notice what is present. And before we move into the practice, collectively, we will perform a quick, energetic, emotional, mental, physical check-in. Keeping the eyes closed, staying present with the breath, starting at the root. The seat in which you are sitting, whether it's the floor, a chair, the couch, your car, not driving. And just notice the sensations, the vibrations, the lack of vibrations in this space. Does it feel dull? Is it pulsating? Simply collect data as we begin to move up into the sacral area. For women, it's our womb. For each soul, it's sexual organs. Below the belly button, right where we would hold our womb. Just check in with this space. Notice any sensations here. Move in gut. And really want us to take a moment to really be with the sensations if there are any here. Is there soreness? Is there discomfort? and hungry, ready. Moving to the heart center, not just where the anatomical heart is, but the entire chest. Maybe you allow yourself to slightly open, but bringing your awareness, your focus, your attention to the heart center, shoulder to shoulder, front and back. The largest electromagnetic field in the body. What that means is we have more power here than any cell phone, than any computer, and this area needs to be charged, just as any device needs to be charged. What is the sensation in this space? Heavy, dense, vibration moving that could be labeled anxious, anxiety sensations. As we move to the throat, feeling tense, feeling limited, or feeling open, feeling expressive, feeling like you want to actually say something for the first time. This is also our ability to not only speak and express, but to really hear the truth, be with the truth, without judgment, without preconceived notions. We move to the third eye center. This is the space between our eyebrows. Taking notice of any sensations. Maybe it's showing up as a migraine in the front of the head, tension in the brow. As we move all the way through the crown of the head, maybe you experience the energy moving through the crown all the way up through the ceiling into the sky, or maybe there's nothing. Check in with this space. Inhaling through the nose deeply and exhaling through the mouth. One more time together, inhaling, exhaling. Now we have all the information we need, and we no longer need our analytical mind. We no longer need that awareness right now. Listening to my voice as I guide you through the next 5 minutes of practice. As we move into Bhastrika, very clearing, purifying, contributing to our gut health and our brain health, we will inhale through the nose. And as we inhale, both shoulders raise towards the ears. And as we exhale through the nose, both shoulders drop. And as we inhale, the shoulders rise as high as they can towards the ears. And as we exhale through the nose, mouth is closed, the shoulders forcefully drop with the forceful exhale. We will do this for 1 minute together in real time, breathing only in and out of the nose, looking and sounding like this, and you can begin. Begin with the breath, deep inhale, deep exhale, forcefully inhaling, forcefully exhaling. Inhale through the nose, exhale. Inhale through the nose. Shoulders lift, hold the breath, hold here. Keeping the breath held, allowing the shoulders to drop and open, stay here. This is the unknown. This is the discomfort, yet you have more than enough breath. You have more than what you need. Be here now. And whenever you are ready, open your mouth and let all of the air fall out. Inhaling together through the nose, deepest inhale, reaching the base of the lungs, the rib cage expands, the chest lifts, hold the breath. Whenever you are ready, open the mouth and let it all go here. Inhaling one more time together. Holding the breath. Taking as long as you can here. This is the void. This is the nothingness. This is the time to observe your reaction. Open the mouth, exhale. Holding the breath. Inhaling through the nose. And returning to your natural flow of breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Keeping the eyes closed, staying inward, and taking notice of how, without you really thinking about it too much, your breath is returning to normal, to homeostasis. The body that once was heated up is now calming, coming back to center. That everything within your being is normalizing here and now. As we move into the final practice, 4-part yogic breath to create a stable, consistent, grounded channel where we can be at the discomfort in all aspects, all dimensions, all levels, evenly, consistently, and steadfastly. So activating the mudra with your hands, the grounding mudra, bringing your ring fingers, touching the thumb, all the other fingers are straight. Doing the best to keep an active yet relaxed palm. Slight pressure in the fingertips, but no need to tense and hold tightly. As we hold the mudra in our lap, staying inward, staying present, taking notice of the space between the fingers. Maybe you feel vibration. Maybe you are noticing a difference already and you watch this energy move from the fingertips into the wrists, the forearms, up the arm, all the way into the shoulders and down into the heart center. As you are charging and awakening the compassionate lotus heart. And for the 4-part yogic breath, today I will guide a 4 count. Inhaling for 4 counts, holding the breath at the top for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, holding at the bottom for 4 counts. Inhaling through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding the breath at the top for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3. exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath at the bottom. Do not breathe here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding the breath at the top. Begin observing if the mind attempts to kick on. As you begin to exhale for 4 counts, noticing the release or the relief, and holding at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Taking notice of any differences as you begin inhaling for 4 counts, holding at the top for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, holding at the bottom for 4 counts. If you are an experienced breathwork practitioner or someone who consistently meditates, does breath work, you can try on 5 or 7 counts, staying consistent at each stopping point, continuing with the breath. Notice the reaction when there isn't a breath being taken. Notice the reaction when there's the inhale, when there's nothing, when there's everything. And allow the body to soften to presence and come back to the centered heart of truth. Completing one more round together. Inhaling for 4 counts. Holding the breath at the top for 4 counts. Exhaling for 4 counts. Holding at the bottom for 4 counts. Inhaling through both nostrils. Exhaling through both nostrils. Inhaling through both nostrils. Exhaling through both nostrils. Returning to the natural flow of your breath. And as you allow the breath to return, you notice the mudra dissolves, releases, yet the seed has been planted in your consciousness, in your being, in the program, within the cells of truth. This state of being is closer to your truth than any media channel, than any influencer, than any family member, than any number in the bank account, than any food on the shelves, than any certain outcome. And this is a space that no matter what happens, you don't have a choice. You live here. This is your home. As we find security here, we will find security in our external world. Taking a few deep breaths as we come back together. I don't see Candy, but I see live on Facebook, so I'm assuming we're still live.
Wait, you don't see me?
No.
Oh, it's probably because I muted myself for a while.
Oh,
But
oh, there you go. That's okay. I was just rolling. I'm like, I'm still live, so I'm assuming we're still live. So
yeah,
that was perfect. Beautiful.
we had a lot of people tune in during that, and I'm hoping y'all took a breath with us. Ashlyn, hello. Tori, hello. Laura, Katie, Crystal, hello, hello. Thank
Oh,
you for
my babe.
yes, thank you so much for tuning in. That was beautiful, honestly. Such a great way to start today, during
Mm,
during the chaos externally. Like Leslie said, when we find security within ourselves, we'll attract it in our external world. Um,
yes,
love it, beautiful,
yes, yes.
amazing.
And please share with me. I would love to know. I would love to see you in action. I would love to see you using this mudra. I would love to see you practicing and what you discover. And I know Candy would too. Tag us, tag me, and share with me this practice, because the beauty is it's not just now. As Candy just said, it will carry through the rest of the day.
Mhm,
And that was like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, 15 at the most. I don't even know how long that was, but we all got more time than ever right now.
mhm,
So there's no excuse officially to not give yourself the opportunity to feel safe, to
mhm,
feel grounded in the chaos.
mhm,
And I want to just, this is a beautiful opportunity to share. There's more opportunities this week for you to dive even deeper into this. I know that I'm only going to mention a couple of like hundreds of thousands, I'm sure, that is popping up every second right now.
mhm,
And because you're our tribe and our community, I want to share with you what's going on in kind of the more direct communities, and then also encourage you to stay tuned, enough in tune with social media so that you can take advantage and really use these opportunities that happen to be popping up everywhere now, which is awesome.
mhm.
And one that we have is actually tonight, and it's with, I don't know if Steph is on. I know she normally is,
Mhm.
but Babes and Brews founder Steph Smith is holding the very first virtual Babes and Brews meetup, which she's been wanting to do forever and now has a very valid reason. And so she will be holding a very true to Babes and Brews meetup style. So if you're new, great. If you're not, you'll kind of know what to expect. And I will actually be opening up with a very about similar time frame guided practice to open up the meetup. So if you loved this practice and you're like, I need more, join us tonight. We will be opening up the meetup with about 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most of breath, and very similar practice to this. And so, and then there will be tons of women to connect with and share. And that's a free offering that's tonight on Zoom. So Andy, I know, has that information. I have, please, and we can drop and register in the comments below. And then another offering I wanted to offer up is Thursday, same time, is American Wonderlove, from the American Wonderlove heart to all of you, proudly holding virtual spaces for healing and transformation for 3 years now. And so of course, we're here. We've always been here. We actually have quite a few virtual, we do it virtual. And we have so many virtual offerings that have always been there and that will continue to be here for life when we can be in person and when we can't. I personally have always believed very strongly in the virtual world, and I quite frankly couldn't be more to see people who've been so resistant to it, but yet such incredible teachers really be first, will, to join the virtual world and what that provides so many. And so with that being said, Thursday night, same time, 6:30 tonight. It's 6:30 Arizona and Pacific. We're on the same time zone now. 6:30 tonight is for Babes and Brews, and Thursday night, it's not, it's just American Wonderlove heart to yours. I will be bringing on guest teacher of one of our retreats who also is an naturopathic doctor. And so we are real holistic practices best, but stress and the vibration that is currently so prevalent and potent. And then we will have time for sharing, as well as a longer guided breath work with major takeaways for you to implement right away, AKA your own purifying and detoxifying breath set. You'll have a whole set to work with. So that is also this Thursday. Again, comments and information will be dropped here. But please also reach out to us. And Candy, please mention any other events. Those are just two that are like biggest on my mind now. But if you know of any other virtual this week specifically that Tea Talks could begin tapping into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep posted on the social media. And in fact, if you are watching this right now and you have a virtual meetup or virtual offering, please drop it in the comments below. Leslie, I dropped Babes and Brews. I'm looking for yours. Facebook is always updating, and
it's just figure out Facebook event. I know.
Well,
I'll post it. I'll drop it in. Okay. I literally published it last night at like 2 a.m. Y'all are keeping me on my toes, so I haven't even like publicly shared it yet.
Oh, okay. Here it goes. I found it. Hold on. And is this a free offering too, Leslie?
Yes.
Okay.
100% free. The only catch is you must mark going so that I can reach out to you to send you the Zoom link. I personally, it's open to all, but I'm not going to be posting the Zoom link. I want there to be some level of entry or some level of intimacy. And so it's open to all. It's free for all. You just need to be either in direct contact with me, one of the team, or put going. And that's how you will be guaranteed to the Zoom link for the call.
Okay, I just put both of those links in there. And yeah, like we said, if you guys have a virtual offering, I just had a cacao ceremony on Sunday, and that was just so powerful. So I'm inviting all light workers, healers, earth warriors, if you have an offering that is powerful, and especially in this time, but it's powerful on its own, let alone when it's needed the most in our community, please take your offerings virtual and share it with our community. We would love to support that, so drop that in the comments below. I dropped in the 2 links that Leslie talked about, and of course I will let you know. Yeah, let you guys know, keep you guys updated for any other offerings that come up. Amazing. All right, so that kind of closes us out. Jackson, I think I saw Jackson who said thank you. Of course. We are always so happy to be here. I realized I have this whole album downloaded from the person who sings Night Train or plays.
Should we test it? Should we test a new one, just a new random?
Maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
Tea Talks fam, join.
You never know what it could be with Candy.
You never know. Tea Talks fam, join us next week right here on Facebook, Tuesday Tea Talks Mid-Morning Show. I am Candy.
And I am Leslie, and truly so grateful to be with each one of you today. More so than ever, but always so grateful for each one of you being committed to conscious conversations and to tribe and to tea above all.
Cheers.
Cheers, tribe.